What on guys, Commander here, and welcome back to RavenField. Now, we haven't played this game for a while, although saying that, I think it was about July time, because I had a look on my channel when I actually uploaded it. I think it was July time when we last played RavenField first on the channel. But just recently, I got downloaded the trial demo again off of the RavenField website. And it's currently now in build 6. Now, I can see, I've played it quite a lot because I really do like this game. And when it comes out, fully releases on Steam, I will buy it on Steam so that I can get proper achievements and get all of the custom maps and everything. Because as you can see up here where my mouse is just above Island, I'm not sure if you can actually see my mouse, but it says custom maps. But if I go into here, it says, I got this one that I downloaded, but it doesn't work properly. But it says, RavenField not connected to Steam, so no Steam Workshop mods are available. So, when it fully releases, I would like to see what sort of mods come about in RavenField. But this is more going to be a review, generally speaking, of the game while I'm playing it. But what we're playing today is Battalions. Now, we played Battalions when we did it beforehand in July on the channel. But I want to play it again just because I know that I know how long this game is going to last. Because we've got points match. Which is why I normally play when I'm playing on my own. But it takes so long. Sometimes, if I'm playing properly and I'm not being really OP about it, and I'm playing tactically, I could be there for about an hour trying to finish one game. So, that's the reason why I'm not doing points match. At one point, I might do points match in the future. And Special Ops and Haunted, I'm not too sure what they are. So, that's the reason why. So we're going to be playing as the Raven. Got 50 bots. Got 1 second respawn time just because. Right, so. Now that we've got all that, let's go. Alright guys, so we're in the game. Now, we have got, I think it's like a minute setup. Get set up so we can get in and get sorted. I'm not going to go in a tank because I want to get and roll with my Signal DMR. But just looking at this game, so I've got a Signal DMR, I got a tracking rocket launcher, I got an ammo bag, and I got my pistol. Now, the idea of this game mode is we've got 3 battalions, and I think one battalion works up to about 50 to 60 enemy AI, and it's the first team to capture. Oh, hello. It's the first team to capture all of the to defeat each of the enemy's battalions and kill each of the enemy's battalions. Now, just at a glance of this game, I mean, I was impressed when I played it the last time, but having playing it now, I'm just absolutely blown away by it, because it's very much like a Call of Duty. Oh, hello. It's very much like a Call of Duty based styled game, but it's very cartoony. Now I'm not talking about the newer Call of Duties. I'm talking about the older, more classic ones, the ones that are more based around war. Now, the reason why I like it so much is because what FPSs fail to capture now is the idea of war. Now, you get Call of Duty, which you play, and it's like team deathmatch, where you gotta it's the first to get 500, 10 kills or 50 to 100 kills, or when you're playing Halo 5 Warzone, it's like 1,000. But the problem is with that is it's basically like a shoot 'em up kill shooting sort of game mode, and there's not really a lot of tactics involved necessarily. This game, I mean, I'm playing on Island because it's the default map and it's really fun to play on. But if you look, we've got 5 control points. There's a control point over there, which is the fort, and we've got this bit which is very heavily defended, and it means that you have to look to defend tactically and not just go in all guns blazing like you can do in Halo or Call of Duty. So it gives you that war aspect. Eagle Assault Battalion, good. It gives you that idea that it's an actual war and you've got to be tactful, otherwise you will die. And if you make one mistake, that is basically your life gone. So that's sort of what I really like about this. Now, the reason why I like it a lot more is because they focused a lot. Call of Duty now, let's just say Call of Duty, because it's more like Call of Duty than it is Halo, because Halo is more like a sci-fi sort of game. Over the years, the Call of Duty games have been more focused on improving the graphics. Now, the problem is with that is when you improve something, something else very often, more often than not, is downgraded, because so you make one thing better and you make another thing worse. That's generally how it goes with many games, whether it's Call of Duty, Halo, or what. Not more often than not, that is the case. But with Call of Duty, what very often is the case is they increase the graphics and how the game visually looks beyond anything that I've ever seen. I mean, the newest Call of Duty game, oh, what one was it? World War II looks absolutely stunning. It looks really, really nice. Even Battlefield 1 looks absolutely amazing. But the problem is they do that, but what they sacrifice is the gameplay. And me personally loving Star Wars Battlefront 2, playing it, the game looks visually amazing, but the gameplay is just very basic, and it's not very different. Like you've got Galactic Conquest, which is like scenario based. It's a scenario based game mode. Then you've got Blast, which is your typical team deathmatch. Then you've got Heroes versus Villains, which is it is something slightly different, but it is basically like a team deathmatch sort of game. Then you've got Blast, which is just Blast is basically like scenario based game. No, Strike is scenario based game. And then you got Starfighter Assault, which is basically Galactic Assault, but with starfighters. So, in that sense, there's not a lot of difference with Star Wars Battlefront. The games are not very unique. I mean, we've just got Jetpack Cargo, which I have to admit is very good, very nice game to play, and it's very, very unique in that front. But except for that, all the other games are just very typical. They're your typical game modes like shoot, find an enemy, kill them, get a point. And that's sort of what is lacking in a lot of new FPS sort of games. Call of Duty and Star Wars Battlefront being the mains that I can think of. Whereas this game, the quality as far as graphics are concerned, is not very good. I mean, it looks visually really, really good. I mean, you can see what it is. It's not like you're unable to see what is going on, but because it is visually very, very good. But they've made it very more cartoony so that they can focus on the gameplay. And so like instead of having it very high texture based, they've lowered the textures and made it more made it so you need to use tactics more, because if you don't use tactics then you can't win the game. Instead of it just being see an enemy, shoot them, like what I'm doing now, I'm just turning around, shooting the enemy, but I have to be constantly wary because they're spawning behind me at any given moment. And I'm capturing the enemy base, but I've got to hold off and wait for reinforcements to arrive, and I've got to know where my teammate is, because if I don't, and I don't, like I just said, I didn't look behind me, and I got shot in the back by an enemy. And yes, that is sort of the same with Halo 5 Online, but because Halo 5 Online is online, you've always got somebody around to shoot you. Older games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic is, I mean, yes, it's an old game, and yes, you don't necessarily need tactics very much, but you can use tactics a lot. Like in the space battles in Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic, if you know where to hit your enemy, if you need to take down the shield generators first, but what people don't know is that if you go inside the hangar, you can actually take down the auto turret defense mainframe straight up, and stop them from shooting at you when you try and arrive. So it makes your life a lot easier. So it means you have to be tactful with where you're going. And that's sort of the reason why I like older games, or games like this, which implement those tactics, and means that those tactics have to be used. So that's sort of what I like about these, about older games or games that are being made that are very similar to this. And also another reason why I really do like this game is because the potential for it is very, very strong. And when I say the potential for it, I mean, like I said to you earlier, there is an area in the game where you can add and implement custom maps. Now, custom maps could be anything. I mean, the one that I downloaded was called Down with the Ship, and it's basically like a ship battle royale sort of based game. And that's just probably very simple, but if they can make games like that, maps like that, then they should be able to make custom maps, especially if the modding community is very, very powerful, like it is in a lot of these newer games. Oh, we've got the two powerful control points. That's cool. But if the modding community is as strong as some of these older games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic, for example, some of the mods and maps that can be implemented and brought in will be amazing. Like, if you think about it, the models and textures of this game are not even very strong, not even very detailed. So, and are not actually very characteristic based. So we could have a Star Wars mod for this, where we could have like Rebellion versus Imperial, or we could have a Halo Covenant versus Spartan game mode. You know, there's so much potential with a game like this because it's so basic. There's so much to work on in that sense. So that's the reason why I like the game mode in the way of its potential. Because what else could I have? What other mods could we have? We could have a Death Star map with a Rebels versus Imperials mod. We could have if they decide they're going to include dogfighting in this, because there's already planes. If they're going to have, they could have a space. They could have like a space attack on Death Star sort of thing, if that's available to be done. So there's an awful lot of potential and opportunities for a game like this to implement into the game for external files. And even because it's been released on Steam, you've got the Steam Workshop, which grants a mass amount of potential for a game like this as well. Alright guys, so that's about all we have time for in this Let's Play video here. Next episode, we will be playing some Special Ops. I don't really want to play Points Match because I know that off by heart anyway. So we'll play some Special Ops Haunted after that, and then we might play some Point Match. So, yeah, so having said all that, that's about all I have time for in this video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for awesome gaming content, and I shall see you all later. Bye!